People always used to say to me, "Phil, why do you look so tired?" But I never really hear that anymore, and that's because I've made 6 changes that I'm going to share with you in this video. And I'll even raise the stakes a little and tell you we've got a 3-week-old baby who wakes at least 3 times in the night. Yet I'm still able to get good quality sleep that allows me to meet my daily objectives. And I'll end the video with the really powerful reason why we all need to get the best sleep we can. Number 1. I'd always wanted to keep my room warm and comfortable. I mean, why would I want to freeze my backside off during the night anyway? Especially as I knew that during sleep your body temperature drops anyway. Now, unfortunately, I got the science all mixed up there because by having my room no more than 19 degrees Celsius or 66 degrees Fahrenheit, it helps facilitate that drop in temperature, which allows you not only to fall asleep more easily, but to stay asleep for longer as well. I definitely wake up less now, as previously I'd sometimes wake up feeling like I was overheating and had to throw the duvet off me. Melatonin is the boss hormone when it comes to the sleep-wake cycle, and a cooler environment has been shown to increase the production of melatonin, and more melatonin equals a better chance of sleep. It's become popular, particularly in the US, to buy melatonin supplements to help aid the sleep cycle. But when they conducted a meta-analysis of all the different research papers that have been done on melatonin supplements, they found out that it only actually increased the speed of getting to sleep by 7 minutes. Now, you know, 7 minutes is something, but for me, I think I'll be keeping my cash in my pocket on this one. Number 2. I took the batteries out of my remote control and I replaced them with a physical book on my nightstand. Now, really, I should have come to this realisation much sooner, as there's been plenty of times where I've been reading a book in the past and I've started to feel my eyes get heavier and heavier, and they really welcome sleep on. Now, reading a book can really, it just helps create a really comfortable, warm environment that allows you to forget the worries of the day and anything else that's gone on, which welcomes sleep more easily. Now, I'm a big fan of the physical book, but I'm sure a Kindle would work just as well. And of course, when it comes to learning from reading, I'll tend to read those kind of books during the day. I'll stick to fiction in the evening because, as I said, my eyes start to feel heavy and I find myself not even halfway through the chapter I'm on before I'm almost asleep. And there's been a lot of research done around blue light, and some research says there's definitely an effect, while others says hokum, it's just another one of these sleep myths that's out there. But that doesn't really matter because I find reading relaxes me, so whether there's blue light or no blue light, it doesn't really matter. Number 3. I'd heard about the military's technique for falling asleep easily for years, but I'd never really put much thought into it. But then a few months ago I decided to try yoga just to see if it would do anything for me, and towards the end of the class the teacher took us through a process which was very similar to the military's technique for falling asleep. Now I can give first-hand evidence that this actually works because I find myself absolutely knocked out at the end of the class. And I felt really embarrassed about this, which doesn't make any sense because it was the whole point of the activity anyway. The process is really quite simple, and the more I've looked into it, the more I've found different groups claiming it as their own technique. So you've got the military, you've got yoga, you've got pilots claiming it, you've got Tai Chi and martial arts saying it's theirs, and of course mindfulness. And mindfulness is wonderful because it just encompasses a lot of different techniques from different areas that really benefit you. So what is the technique? Well, you start off by getting yourself comfortable in bed, and then you close your eyes and you actively think about relaxing your eyelids. Now you're going to go through a process of relaxing every part of your body. So you'll think about your toes and you'll work your way up. So you start with your toes and you think about them relaxing and then relaxing and relaxing until they feel relaxed. And then you move on to your feet and they're relaxing, 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 then relaxed. And you move up to your ankles and then to your calves, and then to your knees and your thighs, your hips, and then all the way up your body until you find yourself completely relaxed and in a completely perfect place for sleep. Now what will often happen is you won't even get halfway up your body before you're asleep, and part of the reason for that is this process of relaxing your body parts makes you focus on your body. You're forgetting the stresses of the day, you're forgetting the things that were on your mind, and that allows you to get into that position where sleep will come much more easily. Now I'm not going to tell you that this works all of the time. It probably for me is 80% effective because sometimes stuff that's gone on in the day is just going to get back into your mind no matter what you do. But thinking about it, it works 80% of the time, it costs you nothing to do, so really it's got to go up there on one of the better investments you can weigh. Now for a little known fact. Did you know that in REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement, that our body tends to be almost completely paralysed, with the exception of our respiratory system and our ocular muscles. Now, super brainy scientists think this is because we then won't act out the vivid dreams that we're having. So that keeps us safe and stops us from lashing out, hurting others and hurting ourselves. Now, I never seem to remember my dreams, but I know a lot of people do, so I'd be really interested to hear about any of yours in the comments below. Number 4. No more coffee after 2 p.m. Now, I couldn't remember for the life of me where I'd heard this advice. I seem to think it was from a book about gangsters in New York City, so definitely peer reviewed. But the more I looked into this video, the more research I did, I found out that Dr. Matthew Walker in his book, Why We Sleep, suggested that we should cut out caffeine after 2 p.m. Now, for me, it's more about coffee than caffeine, and in particular going cold turkey after 2 p.m. Caffeine works by blocking the receptors in the brain that signal tiredness, so you can see the problem there straight away. Now, it takes about 5 to 7 hours for the body to metabolise, also known as to get rid of in non-scientific terms, any caffeine from your system. So you can see that drinking coffee or having caffeine later in the day is going to have a real knock-on effect on your sleep. Now, you've also got to look out for those pesky sources of caffeine that can sneak in there, such as chocolates and sodas, if you really want to go cold turkey. Number 5. Simple, and even more simple. When you've got a book on your nightstand, you can move your phone away and put it somewhere else. Now, I use my phone as an alarm, which I bet the majority of people out there do. And I'm also really quite lucky because Siri, Google or Bixby, none of them have any intention of listening to me. So when it goes off in the morning, I can't use that to turn it off. I actually physically have to get up to turn off my alarm. But this is supposed to be a video on how to improve your sleep. Now, setting an alarm allows me to have a consistent start to my day as I wake up at the same time every day. And this also has the knock-on effect of meaning that I tend to get tired at the same time most days, which means I have a consistent bedtime as well. Creating a routine for sleep has made my body more aware of the demands I'm going to make of it, putting me in a better position to get to sleep each night, because I'm working with my circadian rhythm to make sure that I maximise my sleep. Number 6. This one's a game changer for me. Quite literally, it improved my sleep score by 10 points. So what did I do? I bought myself a hyperbaric chamber. Did I bollocks? I used those sleep masks that you've been seeing throughout this video. Possibly not the Wonder Woman one. I was really anti the idea of an eye mask for a long time, as I didn't like the thought of something digging into my head, and I'd decided to make up the fear that if I was wearing it I'd forget, and then I'd wake up and walk into something, or I wouldn't be able to see where I was and I'd panic. But eventually I thought, you know what, I should try this out. So many people are telling me it's really positive that I'll give it a go. Now, I'm not going to tell you it was an overnight success, because it wasn't. In fact, for the first couple of nights it actually made my sleep worse, because I was so conscious that I was wearing this eye mask that it would really get into my head, and then I'd end up having to take it off to fall asleep. But over the coming nights I decided to keep it on for longer and longer, until eventually I fell asleep with it on. Then my life got turned upside down, and while I didn't become the Prince of Bel-Air, I did find out that I was sleeping better and better every night. My advice to you, if you want to try it but don't want to spend too much money on it, is to wait for after an event such as Christmas or Easter or even back to school, when you're likely to be able to get high quality masks at a cheaper price. If you're in the UK, then Boots do a huge range of eye masks after these events, and I'm sure in the US that you can go to stores like Target and Walmart and they'll have a wide variety of masks too. So if you want to not only get more shut-eye, but more quality shut-eye, then follow one or more of these suggestions and see what it does for you. I promised at the start I'd tell you why sleep is so important, but just to reinforce what you already know, not only does high quality sleep mean you feel less tired the following day, but it also allows you to consolidate your memories during the night, meaning you remember more of what you've done the previous day. It allows you to process your complex emotions, meaning that when you wake up the next day you'll be in a better emotional state. And it also helps flush out any toxins from your system, meaning you're just going to be more generally healthy as well. And be grateful that you're not a dolphin, because dolphins sleep with one hemisphere of their brain awake just to look out for predators. If you're watching this after 2 p.m, then put the coffee down. Now, you guys are great. I hope you all have sweet dreams, and I'll see you on the next one.